Hey, this is Nige Rockett from Onslaught, and you're thrashing it up on Dave Softee's Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio.
To a world of bounds, legion every way. White face, fake pain and smile, wanted to pretend. Pacifying all around, in darkness world descends. We only see what they want us to. We only read what they want us to read. We only hear what they want us to. They want to make us bleed. Bow down to the clouds. When the circus comes to town, bow down to the clouds.
Alrighty, here we go, Metal Maniacs. Please help me welcome back to Metal Messiah Radio, hailing from UK thrash legends, the mighty Onslaught. Let's hear it again for Nige Rockett. How you doing?
How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great. How you doing? How you feeling out there, Nige?
Yeah, not too bad, considering the circumstances. You know, it's okay. It's a very different world to when we spoke last, but we're surviving.
Yeah, that's all we can do, brother. And I want to thank you for taking the time to be here on Metal Meltdown tonight, Nige. Especially as you already have gotten with Brother Joker of the Electric Circus. While I was still working with Mr. Softee, Elsie had mentioned that you were dealing with another promotions company and suggested that I get with you for a new interview. Nothing really came of that, but thank goodness to Facebook, I reached out to you, and you were all for it. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And it has been a while since we last had a chance to talk about Onslaught. And I know you've probably been fairly busy out there of late. And how are you feeling, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird, you know. We made the decision to release the new album during the pandemic, and it's really benefited from that. But the follow-on, obviously, the initial 2 months when the album came out was fantastic, and everything's gone above scale to the plans, you know. But obviously now we've hit the kind of stage where we've been crippled in the promotion for the album because of the pandemic. We were really kind of planning it. All this was going to be done and dusted by November this year, but it certainly seems like it's not going anywhere very quickly.
It's very sad, but very true. Yes, I understand your dilemma with this. It's for all of us. It may rise again, but I think if people practice safe rules and regulations as far as social distancing and wearing the mask, I think the chances of getting this pandemic, this horrible situation with COVID, I think the situation is less risky to get.
I think since September, when the schools and the universities went back after the summer break, things have got noticeably worse. Yeah. And today, the government are any minute now are making an announcement. I think we're going back into full lockdown for a month, maybe. So, yeah, it's not really not good here at the moment. Death tolls are rising, cases are rising of people contracting the virus and stuff. So, yeah, it's not. There's certainly no end in sight like we foreseen earlier.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was a hoax. They didn't take this seriously, and now we're paying the price. But let's get back to Onslaught. I want to congratulate you on Onslaught's 7th CD, Generation Antichrist. It's a true thrash masterpiece, like all of your offerings.
Thanks, Dick. Very, very much appreciated. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, it's been a huge, huge success. It's really exceeded all expectations, you know. Chart positions around the world, it's been an incredible step up, and the reception from the fans and the press has been absolutely incredible. So it kind of hurts a bit even more, you know, that we can't get out and play shows to support the album. But I'm guessing from the response we had that everybody's going to be patient and wait for us to come out and play.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, it's been 7 years since the band's Killer 6 offering, and that was with vocalist Cy Keeler. By the way, what led to his departure? And that's an outstanding offering as well. I really love that album. But basically, Onslaught today is a totally different band, but you know what? The sound is just as killer.
Yeah, I mean, after the release of the 6th album, we basically toured for 4.5 years. And not a lot of people really know that, because obviously you'll go to the States, then you go to South America and blah, blah, blah. But they don't realize that we're touring for that whole period, you know. We released the album and toured that album basically around the world for a couple of years, which took us to 2016, which was then became the 30th anniversary of the 4th album. So there was a great demand from fans to go out and asking us to play that album in its entirety, you know, which we happily did, as we love touring. That 1 year anniversary tour went on for 2 years, which basically we pretty much toured the world again. So we were far from being lazy in that period. Not writing any material because it's not something I kind of like to do. I don't like to write on the road. So we were basically touring and having fun, playing hundreds of shows, you know. And I think um, towards the end of that period, Cy found it really difficult touring so much. He had a few personal issues and really found traveling
I
difficult.
see.
When we came back, I think we finished in September 2018. He was really down on tour and kind of thing. So we obviously had the break to start writing new material. And I guess when we started discussing touring for this new album, he was kind of putting limitations on that and saying I can only really do like 4 weeks a year and things like this. And he found a new job obviously while we were writing the new album. So that was taking up a lot of his time, and he really enjoyed that work he was doing. So when it came to the planning stages for this, he was going, guys, I'm only going to be at a tour for this amount of time, and it was not good for a band who tours so
Yeah,
much, you
I
know.
understand.
So
Yeah.
we kind of we got to an impasse where we both had to make the right decision for each other.
Right.
You know? It was a decision we happily made together, and there was no animosity or big fallout. It was just right for both sides of
Yeah.
us, you know. Um,
Get.
and that's what
I
happened.
understand. Now, getting back to the sixth tour, I mean, the tour that followed that offering, if to the best of my recollection, in the USA you toured, and I believe at that time Cy Killer had a problem getting a visa, if I understand correctly, and I believe Neil Turbin was touring with you.
Yes, it wasn't a visa issue. It was to do with his son had
Oh,
some
okay,
illness
okay,
that really didn't want to tour. So rather than after all the hard work had gone in, so we went ahead with the tour with and got Neil Turbin in as a guest for that tour, which we thought could be really cool, you know, because of what he's done in the past and etc. etc. And we thought it would be a great idea, you know, as did Neil Turbin himself, you know, but things just didn't really pan out,
that's what I
unfortunately.
understand. I wanted your opinion on that because I hear rumors, but I need to know the facts from the source, and that'd be you, of course.
Yeah, it really didn't work. I mean, Neil really didn't do his homework. I guess he had 6 to 8 weeks to kind of sort stuff out, you know. And he constantly told us he was ready and everything was in the bag. And when the first show in New York, um, 30 seconds into the first song, it became very apparent that he wasn't ready.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Um, yeah, I mean, he turned up with a kind of stage monitor, you know, to read the
Right.
lyrics, and that's wholly not acceptable as far as we were concerned, and I don't think the fans found it acceptable
Yeah,
either.
I
You
got
know,
you.
we're a thrash we're a thrash metal band. Everything's got to be real, and fans like to get on stage, you know, and stuff. And having a prompter on stage is really
Right.
not cool. Um, so no, it was a bit of a disaster, I would say. Um, it got to the last show, the last two shows, I think Arizona and LA at the Whiskey. And the Whiskey was a sold out show prior to that, and we parted ways in before the Arizona
I
show, I
see.
think. Um, there were some problems, and which I
Right,
don't
right. I
really want to
totally
go into.
understand. And I thank you for taking the time to
So,
even talk about this at all. So I want to thank you for that. Let's talk about
yeah, that's
the
cool.
present time now. Onslaught has some new blood in the band, and now let's talk about the present time of Onslaught as the band has new blood in it. As we talking about the vocalist, we have a new vocalist from Bull Riff Stampede, David Garnett. And what led
Yep.
to him joining the band and his killer vocal styling is perfect for Onslaught. And how did this all come to be?
Well, as I mentioned previously, we kind of knew the situation, what was going down with Psy. And the thing was, we felt it was extremely important not to make a new album with Psy, and then him leave the band or not want to tour, and Onslaught have to get a replacement vocalist for the tour. You know, it's kind of it doesn't sit very well for me to do that kind of thing. So if we were making a new album, in the circumstances we felt we had to have a new vocalist. So we knew Dave for many years, and obviously Dave was in a band with James, our drummer. So and he'd already stepped in for a couple of shows, a couple of festivals we played in Europe previously when Si wasn't available, and he did an amazing job, you know. But we never really realized how much he could pull this album off. He played the last show. I think the last one we did was actually right before lockdown in February. Did a festival in Sweden, which he stepped in for Si, and he was absolutely awesome. And the old school fans there really loved what he did. So when we got back, we said, Dave, look, do you want to record a couple of the new tracks on the album? Just demo them up for us and see where this goes. So yeah, he was obviously he's a massive Onslaught fan for many years. So it was a pleasure for him to do such a thing. You know, he did the demos in a week, got it back, and they sounded real good. So we all kind of sat down and we discussed it and felt that Dave was the right guy to step in, take side place.
Absolutely,
you know?
yeah, better than Steve Grimmett would have been.
Yeah. I mean, we had to. I mean, we had made that same mistake before. Went with a completely different singer, and there were consequences. And at this stage in our career, we can't afford negative consequences. So we felt we had to get it 100% right, or 110% right, even if that's possible. So we offered Dave the job. Of course, he was over the moon to take the job, but there was still the fact that we had to get the album vocals so perfect, and there was going to be no kind of backlash or any kind of negatives whatsoever, which was going to be tough because Si was highly respected vocalist with the band for everybody, you know. So we got a friend of mine involved, a guy called Peter Hinton, who had produced the first two Saxon albums. And he came in and helped with the vocal production on the album, you know. As you can imagine, Dave was kind of nervous a little bit, stepping in, only having 3 weeks to learn full album. And Pete's such a calming guy, you know. He came in, first day they hit it off in the studio straight away. And that was it. They were, after a couple of hours, they were on fire together. And he really got some amazing performances out of Dave on the new record, you know. So yeah, it was he did an incredible job, and it blew everybody away what Dave's done, I think, and the response from everybody after proves he made the right decision. Absolutely amazing job he's done. He's taken it to another level. I think the songs on the album have suited his voice because they're a little bit more aggressive than previous, and I think his voice isn't as thick as Si's, but he's got that kind of mid-range aggression that Si hasn't got, you know. So he really complimented the new
You definitely
tracks.
made the right choice, because in my circle, from talking to people that love thrash, this offering is among the tops of this year. So you did a really great job in what you got out there with the lineup that you put together. And you mentioned James Perry just a little while ago. He's also from Bull Riff Stampede. And I know in the past he's been a live drummer. When did he officially join the band?
The interesting fact about this is James was supposed to join Onslaught in 2011 when Steve Grice left, just after the Sounds of Violence album. But unfortunately, James contracted a serious life-threatening illness. Even though he was a very young guy, it was just as we were about to announce his joining of the band, it came apparent he had this illness, and we were scheduled for touring for like 9 months, and we just couldn't let him do it. You know, he wanted to do it because obviously it's what he'd been working for all this time, and again, he was a massive fan of Onslaught. We used to see him at the front of shows all the time, all over the world at festivals. He'd be there, down in the front row, going crazy, you know. And a chance had come, but we just couldn't let him join because it potentially his life or the band, you know. He had to go through a lot of treatment when we were due to be on tour, and he was going, "No, man, I want to be there. I want to be there." I said, "James, you cannot do this, man. You got to save your life and then carry on, you know." So that was the situation. And then Mike Horahan came joined the band at the time instead of James, which was great for Mike, obviously, but very sad for James,
Right.
So obviously, I stay in touch with James, see him a lot, speak to him a lot, and over the years, he keeps messaging me. Nige, whenever there's the place for me, I want to give it a go. I'm ready to come back to Onslaught. So 2018, when kind of we finished that 4-year touring cycle, I think a few of the guys had realised that being on the road so long wasn't for them, and Mike was one of them. And bizarrely enough, James had only messaged me 2 weeks before that saying, Nige, whenever you need me, I'm here. So, and that was it. He was back in the band in that
That's
time.
great.
And he's an absolutely incredible drummer. He's completely cured now, which is very cool. So everyone's happy. Everyone's happy.
And you have another new member, Wayne Dorman from Wrath of the Gods. What led him to joining Onslaught?
Yeah, I found it by Google searching actually. Ian Davis had again victim of the long touring, couldn't really face the amount of touring that we did, and didn't want to go through that process again. So find ourselves looking for another guitarist. I came across Wayne, and what an incredible player I found! He was doing all sorts of stuff, from his own original stuff to rainbow covers and things like that. And I thought he was a really aggressive player, but had such a nice finesse to his playing. And we got in touch, went up and met him, me and Jeff, and that was it. Job done. He came down, and again, he's fitted into the band so amazingly well, and some of the solos he's pulled off on the new album are incredible. I think no disrespect to any of the previous guys, but he's probably the best soloist we've had in Onslaught.
That's great news. And you just mentioned Jeff, so let's mention longtime bassist Jeff Williams, rounding up the band's current lineup. It's a great lineup you have there.
Yeah. He's still here. 2006, Jeff joined and still goes strong. Did all the artwork for the new album. Absolutely incredible as always. And yeah, me and him basically run the band day to day, management wise, on that kind of basis. So yeah, I mean, we make a very good team on this. So there's been a lot of struggles on the way, but we're slowly getting there. Things are massively on the up with this album. So as I said before, we really need to get out on the road and really cap this album off.
Absolutely. Let's go hear some more music off of Generation Antichrist, and when we come back, let's talk more about the album and all that it took to get this out there. All right, so welcome back, Metal Maniacs. We're here with Nige Rockett to talk about Generation Antichrist. Let's learn all that we can about this. Where was Generation Antichrist recorded, Nige?
Several different places actually. We have our kind of go-to guys right now. I work with a guy in Bristol, Chuck Priest, the guy's name is, and I've done most of my recording there for the last few albums. He's very switched on. He's a great guitar player himself, and he's very concise with everything he does. And he really, even though I've been playing guitar for so long, he still puts me through my paces. Doesn't let me get away with anything. If anything's slightly out, he make me do it again, make suggestions. He's just great to work with. So very easy. There's no stresses involved, and I just enjoy the process very much working with him. As does James. James works with a guy called Scott Atkins, who's done a lot of productions for many known bands over the years, and James likes to work with Scott, saying he likes the process of how they work together and the whole beginning to end thing. And Scott's just amazing. He really gets the best out of James, and we get some incredible drum sounds. And that was, I think, one of the things with this album is that we actually used the natural drum sound of what was recorded, as opposed to layering samples over the top. And I think it's really give the album that much more raw energy, I think. So definitely looking at working that way again, rather than putting samples over top of everything, which was very cool. The vocals were recorded just outside London, as I said, with Pete Hinton, and the whole project was mixed in Sweden. with Daniel Bergstrand, who's probably most famous for doing kind of stuff like Behemoth and Meshuggah and stuff like that. And he's kind of never worked with a thrash band before, which was part of the reason we kind of wanted to get him involved with what we were doing on this album. So for me, he had a spec when we came to mix the album. I said, Daniel, we want to make one of the most aggressive sounding thrash records ever made. It needs to be brutal, and he said, yeah, man, I can go for that for sure. And for me, it's just so much energy and anger in the mix. He's done exactly what we asked for him, as far as I
He
can
did a
see.
fantastic job for you. And let's learn about the writing process and who came up with the lyrics for the music of Generation Antichrist, and who actually came up with the album title and everything related to this.
Uh,
This I find will be very interesting to the listeners.
yeah, I mean, things changed on this album very much because the last two albums, Sounds of Violence and Six, I'd written kind of all the music on a 50-50 split with Andy Rosser Davis, you know. Obviously, Andy's no longer in the band, so when we kind of finished tour in 2018, the label were on our case. We need a new album very quickly, so we had to get into writing mode very very fast. So we had a discussion, myself and Jeff, of the kind of direction that we were going to take with this album, which was we were going to go a little bit more old school, kind of back to the roots vibe, and look at the old influences and what we've done on earlier albums, you know. So I guess it was down to me on my own to go solo pretty much with this record on the writing side of things. Obviously, Wayne had not been in the band kind of long enough, I don't think, to kind of fully get integrated to be able to write stuff. It was full on Onslaught, pretty much the same, I guess, as Slayer felt with Gary Holt when he
Right.
joined. You know, they felt it would take a little while for him to kind of feel the absolute vibe of Onslaught or Slayer or whatever. Wayne made some great contributions. Don't get me wrong, but what we were doing, he was just sending me bits, and I was using bits here and there, and then constructing the whole songs. Then obviously come in and do the solos over the top. So I'd say 85% of this album was written by myself, and I think that kind of shows where we've gone back to the Motorhead and Discharge influences, and I paid a lot of time looking at Force albums for what we did there. Just trying to capture that old Onslaught feel, you know. And as always, I always write the lyrics for the albums anyway. I always have done. I've written every album we've done. So yeah, that was purely down to me, as was the album
Do you
title.
find Generation Antichrist a very personal offering?
Yeah, I think so. It's become that way because obviously I put a lot more personal time into it and not so many collaborators, you know. And I think the lyrics are maybe got a little bit more personal because what was going on around us at the time and things, you know. So yeah, I mean everybody's blown away with how it's turned out, and I felt a little bit of pressure at the beginning, you know, because there's nobody to kind of bounce ideas back off of like we did when we were writing before previous albums. I sort of play a riff, or Andy would play a riff, and then we kind of mix it up with ideas we had, and let's change to that. So you're constantly feeding back off of each other, you know. But I didn't have that luxury this time, so there was a little bit of pressure on me. But what I was doing, I was sending ideas out to the rest of the guys to kind of get approval and any input they wanted to have, and it seemed to work very well. So yeah, everything was good, and I think now we've made this record, kind of Wayne knows a little more what kind of is going to be expected from him, and and Dave can also write as well. So I'm like kind of really looking forward to the next record again, which is going to be obviously a different one because we're going to have that extra input. So I think it's going to be good.
Uh, Again, congratulations on this particular offering. I can't wait to hear what the future has for Onslaught. Looking forward to that as well. Getting back to Generation Antichrist, please tell us more about the CD cover art and who actually designed it.
I can't really go into depth about the meanings behind it because it's very intricate. But Jeff, our bass player, did that. as you'll probably find, and looking back at most Onslaught albums, there's a kind of central image to the sleeve. Look at Power from Hell, The Force, um, Signs of Violence, etc. We tried to keep an image that's very t-shirt friendly or backdrop friendly. So we kind of went down that route again. But I think Jeff had a lot of ideas to sort of encapsulate the themes of the songs within the Generation Antichrist album. And from what he's explained to me, is he's done a really cool job. There's lots of kind of old imagery in there, lots of they just tie in with what's going on within the lyrical content. Of the I guess you've got the Illuminati images in there and the bullets and what have you, and it all ties together to sort of bring all the themes into one, if you like. And it was very in depth what he kind of explained to me, but kind of went over my head a little bit where it was so deep. But it looked great, and the fans seemed to love the album art. So it was a
It
job well
definitely
done.
was. And we touched upon COVID just in the beginning, but let's talk more about it. How did this COVID pandemic situation personally affect you and the band collectively, as far as health wise and as far as being able to perform live? Could you go into some detail about how this pandemic has affected you?
Yeah, in fact, thankfully, um, I think Dave actually caught it. Dave and his partner got COVID. They got it pretty mild, which was good. So it didn't really do any harm there. I think everyone else of us has been lucky enough to avoid it. I have to be particularly careful because I have an ongoing lung condition, so I've got to really be careful what I do and how I
Are you a
mix with
smoker?
people.
Do you smoke?
Um, no, no, I've never
Wow.
smoked. I caught a virus in South America in 2013, and it's caused sort of endless amounts of
Sorry to hear that.
problems. Um, yeah, so I started on medication actually at the beginning of the pandemic, which I had to cease because I had to have blood tests every week, and I couldn't get those blood
Right.
tests done. So it's kind of degenerated a little bit over the last few months, and I actually started the meds again last week. So hopefully that's going to be the road to recovery for me. But apart from that, we like I said, we did our last show in February. Made the decision to record the album. We actually had to record the vocals in lockdown. We took a risk and made an attempt because we weren't even supposed to leave our homes at the beginning, but we took a gamble and we both had a couple of hours drive to the studio, which we actually made without getting caught. So then we spent 4 days locked up in the studio, and Dave did all the vocals and completed that task. So yeah, it was all good there. Then to be honest, I think we were in lockdown for 4 or 5 months initially. I barely left the house after coming back from the studio, and I was lucky in the fact that the album had to be mixed during lockdown. So obviously, I couldn't go to Sweden to do that with Daniel. So everything was kind of mixed over the internet. We were doing it by emails and back and forth, which was a real arduous task. So because he'd have to send me mixes of everything and tones of everything. And if something was slightly wrong or what changed, it could take like 2 hours instead of 2 minutes in the studio. So that took up a lot of time. Um, then we get obviously the album release comes out like August 7th. So we were doing kind of promo all the way through July and August, which took up all my time. And I didn't really notice it, to be honest. It was all fine until we start realizing when your summer festivals are cancelled, which we lost some amazing ones this year. We were due to tour the US and Canada in November. South America follow that. So then this is right now. We should be on tour right now. So this is when it kind of really starts to hit home. The fact that we're losing all this promotion for the album and we're not out there doing the thing we love best. So it's now the last 2 or 3 months where it's really started to sort of hit home how serious this virus is. Shows were rescheduled for next year. We were supposed to be doing Maryland Death Fest and California Death Fest. That would be in, I think, May, June this year. They were rescheduled for the same time next year, which have now been cancelled again and moved to 2022. So everything's just been shifted back another year again. So there's kind of really, I wouldn't say there's any light at the end of the tunnel, even though these dates are being redone. We just don't know how long it's going to go on.
That's the big question, as this COVID has definitely affected all of our lives and put most of our lives on hold. And I thank you for sharing your thoughts with us about this, and we understand how it's affected you. And right now, let's go hear some more music of Generation Antichrist. And when we get back, I want to talk about merch and videos and stuff like that, okay? All right. Metal Maniacs, welcome back. We're here with Nige Rockett. Let's talk about merch. I'm sure fans of Onslaught can find everything and anything they need to know about your merch through your powersfromhell.com site. I believe that's probably the best place for a fan of Onslaught to find official merch. Will you agree with that, or do you have a better place for the fans to know about?
Yeah, I mean that's the pretty much go-to places is either the Facebook official Onslaught page. And there's links from the merch street to there, or there's our website, thepowerfromhell.com. So, but either way, they both link you to the merch, which is very cool. Again, it's proven to be very difficult due to the pandemic. The mail-in prices are stupid right now. For some reason, I've got to send a shirt over to the States for our label guy, and it's like $25 to send a shirt. It's like, come on, it's real. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the fans are still supporting it, which is great. The album sales have been amazing, and the shirt sales are going great too. So we can only thank the fans for that, keeping us supported in these.
Yeah, we must be thankful that the stuff is not coming from China, because it would be even worse. It would take them 6 months to get it. But
yeah.
Seriously, though, let's get back to what is available currently for the fans. Could you talk about what merch we have that we could discuss that to inform the fans?
Yeah, we're kind of limited at the moment. Again, because the suppliers don't want to put too much out there, because they're restricted in what they can do. Basically, we've got T-shirts online. I think we've got the 6 shirts and the new album shirts, and I think our suppliers, they're a company called Razzmatazz Heavy Metal Online. They've got the religious suicide shirts available through there, and obviously the outlets for AFM and stuff have got the albums, and so the albums are readily available, and as are the shirts, but obviously in limited stocks at the moment. That's the only thing. So we're a bit wary to get too much done, in case we got masses of merch lying around, which we'd normally be taking out on tour with us. So again, everything to do this pandemic is like hitting bands so hard.
Very true. And let's talk about videos that are out there for Generation Antichrist that I've noticed. One is a really incredible video, Bow Down to the Clowns, where you're in full makeup, that you could actually be the next Joker in the Batman series. I think that, I actually saw a banner, the first banner I saw for DJ Joker of the Electric Circus. I saw that you in makeup. I'm like, wow, that's a great banner for the Joker show with you on it. But then they changed their mind, I guess. I think I saw 2 different banners out there. So, but that I had to say was an incredible banner. And then I saw the Strike Fast, Strike Hard official lyric video. Both are available through AFM Records. You can find it on the AFM Records YouTube. Would you like to spend some time talking about these videos, and if there are any other videos that you'd like to talk about as well?
Yeah, well, the first video we released, I think, was at the end of June, which was for the track "Religious Suicide." That was the first output from the new album. I think the reason we went with that track, obviously, there was a lot of controversy over the lyrical content. It was the most old school, brutal track on the album, and I think the label really liked that, even though the release has caused so many problems in terms of promotion. We weren't allowed to to actually promote the single on YouTube. We weren't allowed to promote the single on Facebook. So everything is just organic, all the numbers, and they're still really, really cool numbers, you know. But the lyrical content and has obviously upset some people. I can't understand why, but it did. But as the first single released off the album, Religious Suicide did so good for the new record, you know. Then that came to the proper. That was a lyric video for Religious Suicide, and we came to the main album video, which was Bow Down to the Clowns. That was gonna be divisive. It was gonna make you either love it or hate it, which it did. But the 100% common ground there was that everybody loved the song. Um, so many people loved the video. Lots of people didn't like the video.
Really?
for yeah, I mean, it's kind of I don't know how many thrash bands have ever done the kind of makeup thing, you know. So we knew it was gonna incite some kind of reaction, which is what we wanted to do, because the song is a politically based song, and it's trying to put across the message that the people that are running our countries are clowns, you know.
I get it.
As I said, everyone loves the song. There was never any complaints about the song. A lot of people just didn't like seeing a thrash band in makeup, I know, but it got people talking, and we knew it would do that. We knew people wouldn't like it, but we knew people would love it at the same time. And if we'd have just gone and made another video where we're just playing in front of a stack of Marshall calves with the drums out, it's just another generic video which doesn't get people talking, you know. But you go on to sites and pages, you see the comments about it. Oh, I hate this video. I hate seeing thrash in makeup. No, I love this video. But it's got people, and the response was incredible. So it did its
I
job.
thought it was brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah, but I personally, it was a lot of fun. It was very different to something we did before, and as I said, it got people talking about the band and the music, and that was precisely what we wanted to do. You know, it's all about selling records, as many records as we can, and exposing the band's name to as many people as we can, and it did just that. You know, so yeah, we came to the third and final release of the album, which is Strike Fast, Strike Hard, which was I just guess it was a kind of token release once the album was out, just to have a little bit more of a YouTube profile, you know. But yeah, well, I think that was one of the top songs off the album. It had a lot of massive airplay in the US through our promotion companies. It was one of the most requested tracks. So we decided to put a lyric video out for that, which is cool. So yeah, the videos have done us really proud and really boosted our profile.
Yeah, congratulations on that, Nige. And Nige, just curious, what are you doing these days when you aren't doing Onslaught? Do you still have like a regular normal job?
Obviously, we were 6 months out of everything pretty much, and I've only just kind of returned back to work within the past couple of months, to be honest. Outside of the band, obviously, because things aren't like they used to be in the 80s anymore, where we could be full-time musicians. Although it seemed like that when we were in lockdown and we were recording and doing all the promo, it just felt good to be a full-time musician once again, you know. But obviously, the way things are in the industry, there's very few bands can be in that situation nowadays. So we all kind of got to work outside of Onslaught. My job's construction. I run a small construction company, which is kind of what's been in the family for ever since I was born. And it's what I did when I left school. So it was what I did when I needed to fall back on something as a living outside the band, you know. I mean, the band's great when we're touring. It's very, very good for helping pay the bills and stuff. But when you're not on the road, you need to be doing something else. So yeah, after the kind of initial lockdown finished, we started back back at work, and that's what we're doing right now. But I think the way it's looking today, we're going to be stopping again very soon. So yeah, construction's my thing outside
Thank
of
you
the
for
band.
giving us detail on that. And do you have any new guitars or that you'd like to talk about, or what is your situation with your guitar collection?
No, I don't have any new toys actually. I think it's all been very I've been very quiet again due to this damn pandemic. No, I've still got just all the same guitars as what I've had for years and years now. I still play my favorite Charvels, which I call my babies. They're all kind of mid late '80s guitars. And to be honest, I don't really look for any endorsements on a guitar. I'm not really interested because um, I'm just so happy with these guitars. They're so well worn. They just play amazingly well. They sound amazing. So I'm not really looking for anything else. So I might sort of might tap up Charvel when this thing finally goes away and see what they're doing nowadays because obviously it's a completely different company to that I was dealing with in sort of mid '80s, and they're not even doing the same kind of guitars, But it would be nice to touch base and see if we can do any work together. But aside from that, no. The only thing that has happened in recent times is I renewed my endorsement with Seymour Duncan and got some new pickups, which was fantastic because they made such a big difference on the new album. I went with some blackout active pickups, which I've not used before. And so they sent me a bunch of them over, and they were absolutely incredible. So made a big difference to the guitar tone on this record, and I'm very thankful to them for that. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
very
great to
cool.
hear. I'm very happy to hear that you're very happy and content with what you are playing, and very satisfied with
Yeah,
that. And I want to thank you again, Nige, for coming on tonight's Metal Meltdown for this comprehensive interview. It's always a pleasure talking with you. It's been a while, and let's hope that it's not going to be a very long time before we have a chance to do this again. That being said, before we go crank up some more off of Generation Antichrist, I want to make sure that we caught everyone up to speed with the latest going on with Onslaught. That being said, again, if there's anything else we could add to this interview to inform the listeners on, please let's do what we can.
yeah, I think we're pretty much up to speed there, Dave. Like I said, in the moment, all we can do is sit and wait, and we are planning. We're waiting for the two Death Fest to 100% confirm the actual dates for 2022, so we can finally put the US tour back together again. Obviously, there's a lot of work to be done behind the scenes with the work visas and that. So until we get the initial dates for the Death Fests and then the tour, that's when things are going to kind of kick in. But it's 100% it's going to be 2022. Can't really see anything happening before then, unfortunately. So it kind of leaves us in a bit of limbo as to what to do. We're obviously going to have to start writing new material, which I'm kind of reluctant to do so close to releasing this album. But I think we need to stay on top of the game for when things finally return to normal. So I think we've got to look at that angle for sure of getting new material together. And we've also kind of come up with the idea of maybe doing like maybe an EP or a split EP with another band, possibly of some cover tracks of bands that influenced Onslaught in the very early days and the kind of bands that made us want to be a musician and maybe wanting to put Onslaught together, which could be kind of interesting. So there's a few things in the pipeline. It's just the time scale of how we're going to fit things in and what's going to work. So I think we pretty much covered everything, but that's kind of what we're talking behind the scenes of right now.
Well, I want, like I said, I want to thank you again, Nige, for a great interview. I wish that you stay healthy out there during this COVID, and we understand that the world of touring is put on hold till there is a cure for this, and let's hope that that happens sooner than later. But we all need to be patient on that. So you just please take care of yourself, and I want to wish you the best of success as always for you and your bandmates. The most important thing is to stay healthy and keep doing what you do. And only time will tell when this COVID will be done with. And I just wish you stay, like I say, happy, healthy, and enjoy the rest of this year and the new year. and keep on doing what you do because we love your music and we always will. So that being said, cheers to you, Nige, and thank you again for a wonderful interview.
Thank you, Dave. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And hopefully, I'm just hoping it's not too long till I can see you face to face, man, and do another one. So that would be
very nice. I hope that comes true. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again.
Hey, Metal Maniacs. This is Nige Rockett from Onslaught, and I'm wishing Metal Messiah Radio a happy 13-year anniversary.